As I get ready to go into the reasons why I'm certain that XRP investors are on the approach of having their faith rewarded in today's episode, my enthusiasm is growing. I am looking forward to it. When looking back at the year 2021, it is clear that XRP did not see the same rise as many other cryptocurrencies. This is mostly due to the fact that many legal issues were encountered by the cryptocurrency. Now, however, I am beginning to regard these legal difficulties as more of a purposeful ploy, maybe with the intention of discouraging normal investors like us from participating in the market. The fundamental function that XRP was created to fulfill is one of the most exciting features of the cryptocurrency, particularly when taking into mind the digital-oriented future that we are going towards. Hello, and welcome to the family of Moneyside. We are grateful that you have chosen to visit your preferred destination for the most up-to-date information regarding XRP. I would want to make a modest request for that favor before we go into the intricacies of today's wonderful news. I would like, before we get into those details, if you find the content that we offer to be enjoyable, please show your support for us. To join our beautiful community, you should give the like button a big smash, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. If you want to become a member of our community, you should do all of these things. Furthermore, I have some extremely good news to share with you. We're getting set to do a beautiful XRP giveaway, just as we're getting closer and closer to hitting a milestone of 60,000 subscribers. Only 3 actions are required to complete the participation procedure, which is really straightforward. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on this chance, then you should make sure that you stay tuned for further details. In order to ensure that your comments are taken into consideration for the contest, it is essential that you do not forget to add the hashtag Moneyside in your remarks. The notion that we're about to enter a new era in which digitization plays a significant role and nearly everything is experiencing a transition to a tokenized format is something that we're already familiar with. By doing a more in-depth analysis of the fundamental documents of XRP, such as its white paper, one may determine the primary objective of the coin: to promote the streamlining of transactions not only involving currencies but also involving a range of assets in a world where tokenization is becoming increasingly common at an increasing rate. When one considers the prospect that XRP may be built to ease the transfer of tokens that are based on assets in addition to monetary worth, it is fascinating to think about the possibility. When it comes to effectiveness, nothing else matters. There is a significant reduction in the complexity of operations when tokens are used. XRP, maybe in collaboration with Stellar, which might be considered XRP's less glamorous twin, is positioned to become the backbone not just for the transfer of cash, but also for the transfer of digital assets. This is particularly true for the transfer of digital assets. For the purpose of shedding more light on the reasons why XRP has the ability to change the landscape of remittances, let's examine the impact that it has on liquidity. Under the current banking system, in order for a transaction to take place, it is required to have twice as much money as the amount that is being transferred. For instance, if you want to transfer $200 million from a bank in Japan to a bank in the United States, you will need in order for the transaction to go place. The function that XRP performs in this context is transformative, and it has the potential to bring about a fundamental change in the operation of global remittances by significantly releasing liquidity levels. In order to accomplish the goals of this part, I will study the revolutionary potential of XRP in connection to the field of liquidity and the foreign exchange market, which is also referred to as the FX market. Take, for example, a hypothetical scenario in which a currency like XRP makes it possible for transactions to take place in an extremely short amount of time. It is possible that a significant quantity of liquidity may be freed with the help of this technology, which would lead to a market that is far more efficient. In recent times, we have witnessed a significant number of institutions collaborating with Ripple, and this is precisely due to the efficiency that it possesses. To the contrary, the process of transitioning to institutional acceptability has not yet reached its full potential. Let's have a look at an example to further illustrate this notion using an example. As a result, if the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo had to send yen worth $100 million to its headquarters in New York and then convert it into dollars, you would need an equivalent amount in both currencies at both locations, which would effectively tie up $200 million. Should the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo be required to transfer the yen to its New York office, this would be the situation that would arise. If, on the other hand, this transaction were to be linked to a token or cryptocurrency like XRP, the repercussions would be quite significant. The chance that Ripple may go public is yet another exciting event that should be taken into consideration. The SEC has not yet given its approval for this choice, but it is currently being considered. The win that Ripple achieved in the case in which Judge Torres decided that the cryptocurrency does not meet the criteria for being classified as a security is among the most significant accomplishments accomplished. On a personal level, I have been an investor in XRP for a lengthy amount of time. However, we do not go into a great deal of information about this subject on the channel. The connection that I've had with XRP has been a difficult one for me. It was possible for me to get larger profits with other assets during the most recent bull market. Nevertheless, the success of XRP was greatly hampered by the litigation that was going on. In addition, The community that surrounds XRP occasionally exhibits a really intense enthusiasm that even borders on being cult-like, which is something that I find to be extremely intriguing. When it comes to a project, there have been instances in which I have had an excessive level of optimism, and XRP was not an exception to this rule. Due to the fact that some of my followers may have made investments as a result of my excitement, it is possible that they have experienced losses as a consequence. In comparison to its current price of about 60 centavos, he anticipates that the value of XRP would rise to $1.16, which would be a significant increase from its current pricing. If this forecast is right, then it is feasible that investors may receive a significant return on their investments. XRP provides what I perceive to be a significant opportunity, and the purpose of the video that we are going to see today is to raise awareness about that possibility. Investors in XRP are on the verge of gaining a big edge, and there is a strong reason to believe that this is the case, despite the fact that it may seem like a narrative that has been told before. In the context of this discussion, the most significant thing to take into consideration is the technical structure of XRP, a pattern that looks to be similar to the one that led up to the remarkable ascension in 2017 appears to be being followed by it. The fact that XRP did not reach any new highs in 2021 is a very encouraging indicator for the future of the cryptocurrency, establishing the conditions necessary for the possibility of a rise similar to the one that took place in 2017. As someone who possesses XRP, I am in agreement with Francis Hunt's optimistic outlook, which he expected based on his method, which I have spent the past year investigating. A portion of this caution is a result of the concern that was discussed before. Recent technical analysis, on the other hand, suggests that XRP may be on the approach of seeing a spike comparable to the one it had in 2017. The configuration that is now in place is identical to the one that was in place prior to the surge in 2017. The HVF, which is also referred to as the Hunt Volatility Funnel Technique, has been the topic of discussion on the program on several occasions, and the fact that Francis Hunt has been attending as a guest has provided us with material that is both insightful and informative.